Hey everybody, welcome back. I want to show you how to use the line tool in Illustrator. The line tool is located in your toolbox over here on the left, right below the text tool or type tool. And if you see something else like the arc tool, don't forget if you click and hold on any of these tools, you'll see other tools embedded within that. So make sure it's the line segment tool that you have when you want to draw a line. Lines are really easy to use. It uses a stroke only. It does not have a fill on it, so keep that in mind. If you're trying to add a fill to a line, it's not going to be possible, or it won't show up because it's simply a line. So if I click and pull my mouse across here, you're going to see I have a straight line. I can do diagonal lines. If I want to make sure it's absolutely straight, I can hold shift as I click and drag my mouse across my screen to set that line to be however big I want it to be. I can grab my direct select tool and move my lines around just like you would a shape. I can grab my white arrow tool and click on an anchor point and pull that particular anchor point around and change the angle of a line and all that good stuff. What if you want to take your line and change it to look like a dash line, or change the thickness of the line? Well, we call that weight in Illustrator. And you'll notice as I have this selected, stroke is available at the top, and right next to that is the line weight. So you do have some options along the top while you have a line selected on how you want to maybe change that or change the color of it. But I would suggest going over to the palettes here on the right hand side and making sure you have the stroke palette open. Now it's not going to be called the line palette, so it's a little confusing. They refer to it as a stroke in Illustrator. And so it's this three-lined icon here. Again, if you can't find it, it's under the window menu under line. Under stroke, and it will pull that up for you to be able to edit. Now, in most cases, you're going to see your stroke palette will show up like this. And it doesn't give you any choices really, except to just change how thick or thin you want that line to be. So you can click the up or down arrow. It measures it in points. So of course, the higher up you go, or the bigger that number is, the thicker the line's going to appear. I suggest going to, and each palette has this, so it's worth mentioning, in the upper right hand corner of every palette is this little drop down menu. And there are different options that are specific for that palette. So if you're not seeing the full array of things that are available to you in a palette, you want to click in the upper right hand corner and say show options. So you're going to see once I have that opened up, there's a lot of different things that I can choose from here. For example, I can choose how I want the end of my line cap to be. I can round it off. I can have the anchor point right on the outside, or I can embed the anchor point within the actual cap, so the line can actually project beyond the path that you've drawn. Then I can tell it if it's got corners or angles to it. If, for example, the stroke that I have is on the outside of a box, I can have it be rounded, I can have it be sharp on the edges, or I can have it be beveled. The other thing that I wanted to show you is the fact that it has the ability to create a dash line too. So by default, if you click the dash line, it's going to throw in 12 points. And what that means is the actual width of one of these dashes is 12 points in size. So you have the ability to go in and set up how wide you want the gaps in between to be, and how wide you want each particular dash to be. So if you want to play around with that, go right ahead and kind of practice with that to see what each does. So if I don't want a dash line, I could just simply uncheck that. Say I want to turn this into an arrowhead. You can pick different tips for the line. So there's different styles of arrowheads that you can pick. So if I pick that first one there, it's going to put some arrowheads on there for me, which is really cool. I can change the direction of that arrowhead by hitting this little swap button, etc. So that's pretty much it about messing around with lines. We call them strokes in Illustrator, and how to get to the line or stroke palette to make adjustments to your lines in Illustrator. You can also copy paste lines. One way that I do that is I'll copy paste and drag out my second line there, and if I want to do a series of these side by side, I can align them up and then select them both at the same time, and then copy paste those two lines, and now I have 4 lines, and so on and so forth, and stack them up until I have a whole bunch of lines. I've noticed in designing, sometimes you want to repeat lines that way too. So that's it about lines. I'll see you in the next tutorial.